afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Let's make some noise. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Bagels and Bosses Brunch Business Panel. That's a lot of B's. Chicago. My name is Chelsea Whittington of CWIT PR, and it is my pleasure, my delight to serve as your panel, moderator, MC, and also an attendee because I'm having so many fangirl moments right now. But without further ado, I am happy to introduce and present to you the creator, the brain, author, the motivation behind this and the Black Women's Expo, the president and CEO of MGPG Events. Please give it up for Mary Green. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm making noise, all right. Good morning, good morning. And I just want to thank you for coming, I really do. Most of you know I stay behind the scenes. I don't have a lot to say. And people think it's because I'm shy. It's not because of that. It's because I have so much work to do. These things take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a number of people, and I have an incredible team that's working with us. Believe me when I tell you, and I couldn't do it without them. We tried this, Bagels and Bosses, with some bosses, celebrity influencers in Atlanta in December during the expo. It was just part of the Black Women's Expo in Atlanta that we did December, I think, 16th and 17th. And it was part of the show, so it was cool. You know, people came that was part of the expo. And my team said when we got back, we need to do this in Chicago separate from our show. Yes, we've been trying to bring some of our activation, thank you, some of our sessions, and we do about 50 seminars over that 3-day weekend at the expo, to bring some of those things during the rest of the year. And I'm like, okay, some more work, y'all. But we put together an incredible team, and there's an extra chair right here, Sharita, too. An incredible team that has worked this. Chelsea, she is so humble, but she does all of our PR, all of our social media, and if she puts a camera in front of me one more time, I'm going live. I'm going to kill her. But she's great, and I know there's a number of people here from Indiana. I knew that. I had to see though. But I thank you guys for making that trip, and I hope you didn't go on Lakeshore Drive because it is incredible to drive that right now. But I'm not going to take up much of your time. I know all of these women, and I'm so glad that we decided to start with food and beverage and the hospitality industry, restaurants. There's so many Black women with restaurants in this town, you probably don't know them all. And we wanted to not only highlight them, but to uplift them and then give them our support. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Chelsea, and thank you again for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever attended the Black Women's Expo? Yes, I knew all the hands were going to go up. And so we're growing, 28 years strong. 28 years strong, and as Mary indicated, it's only going to get bigger as we create more events and activations that uplift and elevate Black women. So now I got to get the housekeeping out of the way. Get your phones out so that we can check in and know what the hashtag is so that everybody knows where we are and that we are trending. Today's hashtag is BWE, Black Women's Expo, Bagels and Bosses. And you need to spell out the and so that it will fully hashtag and we can go back, track your photos and pictures. And thank you so much for coming. And now it is time to jump into the panel discussion. And you may see me with papers, but trust me, we are totally going off script, ladies. So we want to go with the energy and the flow of the conversation, recognizing that we do have 6 panelists. We do want to give everybody an opportunity to weigh in. We want variety of input, and I'm sure these bosses know how to play off of one another. And so we're going to start with their own personal introductions. I have just been following them and reading their stories, and I'm just amazed. And I know, that we are all going to walk away today inspired, uplifted, and for my bosses and entrepreneurs in here, we want you to walk away with some ideas and, of course, that spirit to keep going. So we're going to go all the way to the end with Miss Jasmine, and I'm asking each of our panelists to please introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your business.
Hi, I am Yasmin Curtis. I'm the owner and founder of Two Fish Crab Shack and Two Fish Food. Such a warm welcome. Thank you all so Okay, so you should invite your big sister. But such a warm welcome. Thank you all so much. Two Fish Crab Shack is a restaurant. We're located at 641 East 47th Street in Bronzeville. We are a seafood boil restaurant. It is a fun family, just a fun family atmosphere for you all to come. We have been open. May will be our 7th year, so we are very excited. And Two Fish Foods is our frozen food section. So that section of us allows us to sell CPG products, and that's consumer products in groceries. So we do sell our product in the grocery stores and retail outlets.
Jasmine, can I get a 3 the shy way?
But then,
I'm on it.
You on it, yes.
All right, well, hello. My name is Vanetta Roy. I am the owner of Surf's Up and the Surf's Up franchise. Thank you. So I actually own the South Shore location. The other ones are franchises. There are franchise opportunities available, just so you know. We are a seafood and chicken grab-and-go restaurant where we try to deliver food with integrity on the go. So, you know, you don't have to get away from the McDonald's and get something with some quality. But, you know, still don't have to cook. And I love that 3 the shy way. That's definitely one of my favorites. I had 3 pounds. I had 3 pounds one time.
You can't sit in front of my face. So most of these we're friends on this panel. So we are, it's a lot of us, so we all interact with each other. Sorry. Okay.
And coming soon, we do have seasoning packages that will be available in grocery stores. For all right.
My name is Lauren Smith. I'm the founder of Chicago's Black Restaurant Week. And I'm just celebrating year number 8. I can't believe 8 years has passed since I kind of just had this vision. And I'm just excited about the growth of the businesses. It's not about me, but I wanted to make sure I put something out in the atmosphere for everybody to partake in. And I'm all about supporting Black businesses. I'm all about supporting any type of Black business. So I just felt like in order for me to feel that I was doing something for my community, I wanted to marry 2 of my favorite things: Black people and food. Yeah. And so that's why we got Chicago Black Restaurant Week. Year 9 is loading. We will have some celebrities that's coming in town. I've already talked to some people for next year. So I'm just excited to see how far it's going to go, and I thank everybody for coming out.
Hi, my name is Jackie Jackson. I am the proud owner of Kilwin's Chocolate Fudge and Ice Cream. As of today, I have 7 locations: Kilwin's Hyde Park, Kilwin's Michigan Avenue, Kilwin's Navy Pier, Kilwin's Geneva, Illinois. Coming soon in about 4 weeks, Kilwin's Andersonville. Coming soon in about 5 weeks, Kilwin's River North. And last month, I just acquired Kilwin's Evanston. I am also very proud to say I am very happy for the channel community, because since the pandemic, I have been looking for other opportunities to give back and pay it forward. And I had the opportunity to purchase the old Seaway Bank located on 87th and Cottage Drive. My first initial thought was to put a Kilwin's there, but once my franchise denied it, I'm the type of person I can't be denied. They told me no. I said, let me find something else that the community would appreciate, something that's good, something that's different. And I asked God to please reveal to me, what is it that I can put on 87th and Cottage Grove at that bank that's been abandoned for 10 years? And the inner voice said, Fat Burger. Fat Burger. stands for fresh, authentic, and tasty. This is going to be a dual concept with burgers and chicken. We do have impossible burgers, turkey burgers, vegan shakes. So we have something for everybody. And something that I'm working on once the store opens, because it's in a channel community, I am working on an application to also accept EBT, so everybody in the communities could be able to enjoy it. And last but not least, Fatburger offered me the opportunity to be the master franchise development for the whole state of Illinois. And one thing you're going to find out from me, you never talk yourself out of anything. But when they asked me to play this role, I really didn't have the money. And I'm like, I don't have the money. So they told me go out and find it. So I really wasn't looking, but I just was talking to one of my friends. Her name is Toy Salter. Yes. And I just mentioned to her, girl, they want me to be the master developer of the whole state of Illinois, but I don't have the money. She said, hold on, let me call you back in 5 minutes. And from there, we formed an LLC, which consists of myself and Toy Salter, Derek Rose, Anthony Davis, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Fatburger in Orland Park. It's been open up for about 5 weeks. It's located at 15110 South LaGrange Road. I encourage you to go and try it, support us, and in the fall of 2023, this year, Fatburger 87th Street will be open. We're under construction.
Thank you. Now you see why this is called Bagels and Bosses. Come on, Miss Love Corkscrew.
Hello. My name is Prashad Lampley. I'm the owner of Love Corkscrew. Yes, that is wine. I am classified in industry as a negociant. That is a wine maker. I've been in business 10 years now, and I went from 3 states of distribution to 18 states in 3 months. So very excited. We're in over 2,000 locations, including Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, Benny's, Total Wines, and more. You name it. Did I say Whole Foods? It's been unbelievable because we were literally the first African-American woman wine brand to ever go national out of the entire Midwest.
And last but certainly not least, Bridget Black.
I'm the owner and head chef of Soleil Chicago.
All right.
We originated in French Village and we moved to North Lawndale. So it is the first full service sit-down restaurant in North Lawndale with a bar in over 50 years. So church and I tore it down. I tried to save it. It's still a little door in the building. We tore it down and we built it up from the ground up. And again, we're excited to be in North Lawndale, to give back to the community, and hopefully one day we open back up in Ukrainian Village. But it's something new coming, so just
we'll stay tuned. Let's give it up for our panelists. There are some bosses up here and in the room. As I'm looking out, there are so many entrepreneurs. I love the show of hands game. By show of hands, how many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? Now for my panelists, you have given us all of your accolades and accomplishments from a business standpoint. And as an entrepreneur myself, we're often asked, well, how do you do it all? So we need to know what we have on stage here. Show of hands, panelists, how many of you are mothers? How many of you are grandmothers? Wives, significant other spouses. How many of you have to commute, like to different locations? Oh my goodness. All right, so then that brings me to my first question, and we'll go right back down on the end to Yasmin around juggling those various responsibilities based on the different roles that you play outside of being an entrepreneur. What's your secret?
Well, there is no secret. So there is no secret. My first go-to is always faith. So it is always God. That's my first go-to. Outside of that, I think now is health. You have to make sure that you are physically okay and that you are mentally okay in order to do anything. So that is my go-to. all of the, of course we have to have a great team. Of course we have to have, systems in place. But if you don't have your health, and if you do not have the faith in yourself, then you won't be able to do anything. I can honestly say that.
Now, in essence of time, you all don't have to answer the same questions. You can jump in when you feel comfortable. But there are more moms and wives and owning different franchises on here. There's got to be some juggling going on. You want to take that as well?
Okay. As a mother, a grandmother, a special education teacher for Chicago Public Schools. All right. A significant other. And I am also opening a restaurant currently in Atlanta called Eat My Biscuits. For me, it's about the village that you surround yourself with, and it's about balance. And I'm going to piggyback quickly on what Yasmin said. Definitely your mental health, right? Because as they say, if mom ain't right, ain't nobody right. So, and it is a secret. I'm Wonder Woman.
She got a W on the chest, y'all. Lauren, you care to chime in?
Well, I'm not a mom. No, I am a mom. I'm a puppy mother.
Dog mom.
I'm a dog mom. I'm a dean at an alternative school on the west side of Chicago. I'm also a writer. I also create apparel. I also do digital marketing for different brands. So I have my hands in a lot of different pots, but it's all in the line of service. I like to kind of be around where I'm able to provide service to other people. I don't necessarily have to ever be seen. A lot of times people are like, when are you going to come outside? I don't want to come outside. I don't like outside. Outside is crazy right now, but I'm just the type of person that wants to always be somewhere serving somebody else, putting somebody else out in front, which is why Chicago Black Restaurant Week had to happen. I did not want to ask permission from anybody to add. Once you add more Black businesses in what you're doing, I'm gonna just do it myself. And so that's why I've been able to sustain this for 8 years with the help of these amazing businesses that you also see up here. But if you're gonna do anything, just know that it's going to hurt, especially if it's something new. New workout, you use the muscles you didn't even know you had, that's gonna hurt. If you're going from eating pork to vegetarian, that's gonna hurt. But you're trying to start a business, it's going to hurt. You just have to decide how you're gonna maneuver through the pain.
Jackie, I know you.
I would do exactly what the lady said. Health, your mental wellness, and balance is key. The day after Thanksgiving of 2022, I woke up in the morning, I could not walk. I could not walk. I have had about at least 25 doctor visits this year of 2023. And it all, at the end of the day, they test me for every type of cancer. Thank God it all came out negative. And at the end of the day, I wasn't getting enough sleep, so now I wear this ring. It tells me if I'm not sleeping enough. I wasn't eating the right foods. For the past 15 years for breakfast, I will be so much on the go. I'll have ice cream, I'll have chocolates. For 15 years, every day. Not only did I gain about 60, 70 pounds, but I'll tell anybody, you can't consume that every day. So for this year of 2023, January the 1st, still could barely walk. I decided to change my diet. The Daniel fast was trending through Facebook and social media. I said, okay, I'm gonna try the Daniel fast. I'm gonna eat a little fish. I'm not gonna totally take out the meat, but I tweaked my diet. Within a week, I was able to get out of bed. I ain't about a hospital bed. And so at the end of the day, when I went back to the doctor, let me tell you, I just went to the doctor on April Fool's Day. My cholesterol went from a 280 to 150. All of my numbers was right. And it was all about what I was putting into my body. And I would always be on the go. Okay, I got 7 stores, it's Fat Burger. I got 4 projects under construction. But guess what? I make Thursdays my day. On Thursdays, I'm going to get my hair done. I'm gonna get a massage. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna make a meal at home. So I had to take one day, and I've never taken that day. But it took me to get sick. I was on my back, and I said, Lord, this is, all the money in the world. I didn't give a toot about a Kilwins, a Fat Burger. None of that mattered. All I did was say, man, I need my health back. And during that time, I realized that I had a phenomenal team. My staff stepped up. And so when I was on my back and I was real still, all I was thinking, I want to elevate them. I want to do something for my staff. Because without my staff, I don't have anything besides God. And I know my staff is going to take care of my guests. So right now, my mission is to elevate and develop my team. Because in about the next 2 years, I want to retire. Right now, I'm hiring from within. If you work for me, I got something for you.
No juggling for me.
Okay.
I'm in the wine industry. There's too many moving parts. I'm living on the plane, living and traveling. Understand I'm in 18 states. So it's consistent movement. There's consistent no's. There's consistent, I'm not good enough. There's consistent, wait, we want you because you're a Black woman. So there's too much for me to juggle. However, I say all that to say, I know I have a purpose, because if I wake up in the morning and my heart's still beating, I have a purpose. That's how I function.
Ms. Bridget, you care to close this portion out?
Well, for me, I'm like Nike, I just do it. I literally do everything every day, from being a mom to having this new business, because Olay is new to Roosevelt. We only been open since January, which is crazy. The construction at the old restaurant, and I make plenty of time for myself. I'm just gonna be honest, like I have to. You know, I work this hard. I feel like I have to enjoy the fruits of my labor, and I needed it. That's my balance. Like I just live my life every day like I'm gonna do something. So whether it's just going to have a cocktail with a girlfriend, lunch, outside of work, I'm just doing it because you have to take this time for yourself.
Sounds good. I hear an overall theme of self-care being the best care in order to boss up like all of you have. Obviously, we have to talk about the global pandemic that was or is COVID. And it turned the restaurant industry upside down. It's a word Mary hates to use, but I'm going to use it. We had to pivot. She hates the word Mary. We had to pivot. We had to come up with new things for all of our various businesses. And I'm inviting some of the ladies to chime in on what are some of the innovative things or things that you just had to do to ensure that your doors stayed open and that you were able to sustain during that time.
Coco, this is a good one for you. Jasmine.
Oh, okay. Anyway, well, I will answer the question, Vanetta. The moderator's down there. Well, during COVID, COVID again on the restaurant industry, it was brutal. We were closed, we were open for 25%, closed for 50%, then we did this 50%. So in that process, prior to COVID, 2019, Two Fish was at least an hour and a half wait. You just was not getting in within an hour and a half. So when COVID happened, I was shocked, like most of us. But it was, I mean, it's life. Like it was uncontrollable. There's nothing we could do about it. But what I did notice was that, and my business model for a lot of things is that no matter what it is that you believe, somebody else believes something completely different. So I knew that about COVID. I know that about life. So what I decided was, I said, I'm going to package our product. We're going to package these crab legs. We're going to package this sauce in there. And I'm going to make sure that you're able to get it within a minute or 2 minutes. Just, you can get it. You don't have to wait for an hour and a half. You might not even never come in contact with another person. So that was my thought process when I decided to package our goods. However, we were invited outside to a Mariano's Block Club event. So then, and we were just supposed to sell our sauces there. But I believe in every opportunity, you get one shot. And I'm going to make it my best shot. So I packaged 100 packages of crab legs outside of a grocery store. So y'all got to understand what I'm doing. Outside of a grocery store, crab legs, shrimps with the sauce in there. And I rented an ice cream truck so it could stay cold. I put our label on there. When I say we sold out in 20 minutes. The store manager, everyone came outside of the grocery because they could not understand what was happening. Were like, what are you selling? And I showed them what I was selling. And they was like, okay. So the regional manager for seafood came to Two Fish the following day and said, whatever you're selling, we want to buy it. Right now, Two Fish is probably, I have not counted, because I just keep going, but we are in over, at least, we are in over 1,000 stores nationwide.
Yasmin, can I stay with you 1 second? Only because I know a little bit more about your story and some of your humble beginnings. If you had an opportunity to visit the vendor tables, which I hope you did or will, one of our vendors today is the Chicago Urban League.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your starting point with the Chicago Urban League?
Oh, so the Chicago Urban League, I will say this. So prior to me actually opening up Two Fish the restaurant, so I took one of their classes like Next Level or something, like they had like all these different levels of classes. So I took one of those classes and I was able to articulate my vision in there. I was made sure that we were able, because they kind of like, they nail you down in terms of what it is that you want to do. Like, and they keep asking you these questions. And I can say, like, I don't like to waste a lot of time. I'm going to tell you that. So, a lot of classes is not there. Okay, we can't waste this type of time. I don't have it. So, but the Urban League, I do believe that it is very beneficial for a lot of startup businesses to make sure that you are having someone nail down exactly what it is that you want to do and cast a vision. It does not necessarily have to be exactly what it is that you're going to do, because I promise you, God will take you nowhere where you will not believe. However, but you do have to cast a vision, and sometimes that comes out of those classes, and that's what happened with the Chicago Urban League for me.
Thank you for that.
Anybody have I'd like to chime in. Yeah, because my story is going to be a little different than brick and mortar, because I'm a CPG, so I'm a consumer product good. So not having the four walls, COVID and civil unrest was very interesting, because there was a lot of looting in Chicago. There was a lot of stores that closed. So as these stores close and people kind of have this thought process, oh, it's just Walmart, they'll be fine. Oh, it's just Target or Mraz, they'll be okay, they have plenty of money. There's plenty of products within these stores who are losing business. So I lost over 85% of my business during that time. So it was interesting to say, okay, I could actually go out of business because of COVID, but not just because of COVID, because of civil unrest. So then I said, wait a minute, let me start building out my technology infrastructure. I've had a website, I've had wine clubs before, but I said, let me really start focusing. Well, my online sales went up 272%. So that ugly word of pivot, you don't know what the world's going to bring, so you have to have another option. You have to have another way. And that's what we did. So while this happened, it happened around the world, right? Everybody's ordering wine and spirits. Everybody's getting deliveries at home. So this is the new world that we live in. So I'm like, oh, okay, got it. The person who was always going into stores, doing tastings, I was always in the forefront, I'm the one pouring the wine, right? Next thing you know, I'm the one behind the laptop. So you really have to take what the world gives you. Understand you are a small business. If you're under 100 million, you're a small business. So understand that you don't know what's going to happen when it comes to a consumer. So be prepared to do something else and be okay with it.
Hear that, bosses? All right, Jackie.
So COVID actually saved my business. Like, it helped me think. It set us down for a little bit. We had to open and close. So they were so small that it used to be like a 2-hour wait to get in, because the capacity was like only 33 people. So we never did any carry-outs. So once COVID happened, we had to change the structure of the business and go strictly to carry out. So now my business is like, I did none. Now So like today, at least 60% of my business is carry-out. The Uber Eats, people were ordering from home, so it gave me exposure to people that was ordering out Uber Eats. So actually, COVID was a blessing to me, so I just wanted to share that.
So back with what you said, I realized also most of my issues came after COVID. During COVID, as a grab-and-go restaurant, we were known for that. So we actually thrived. The Surf's Up franchise actually thrived during COVID because that's what we were known for. Like, you don't think of Surf's Up and going to sit down. A lot of times when you go to these dining restaurants, it's for the experience. It's for being with the people in the gathering, and that was literally ripped from under our feet. What I am seeing from COVID, by me being in, I guess, a low-income area because I'm in South Shore, what has happened with insurances, I was dropped from 2 different insurance companies because of, they put it, I am in a high-risk area because of the looting, because of the civil unrest. So where my insurance used to be, say, $300 a month, now I'm paying $750 a month for insurance. So it impacted me in a completely different way to the point that I thought that this was illegal to do. But I found out it is not. So now it's going to impact me long term because of the location that I choose to be in.
But we want you there.
I ain't going nowhere. It's been, August 1st will be 10 years.
COVID was bittersweet for me. A little background on me. When I first started my first Field Ones in 2008, guess what? It didn't work. I went out of business. I packed up my bags. I tried again. The second store, it didn't work. So that's 2 stores in a row. And I'm from the south side of Chicago, so my survival mode just had to kick in.
Come on.
During the pandemic, I was in the process of trying to open up Navy Pier. It had been a decade, and finally I got that call. Hey, you have the opportunity to come to Navy Pier. I'm like, that's going to be my ticket out of poverty. But unfortunately, COVID hit. I couldn't get any PPP, no ELID. I could not get anything because I had no employees, I had no taxes. But I still had that loan. I still had the light bill, the gas bill, the insurance bill. I had everything. And something that I was totally against, I'm not a technology person, Zoom. I hated Zoom. I'm like, I don't want to get on, I don't know how to work it. I can't get the sound. But I became married to Zoom. And guess what I learned through Zoom that I did not know? So being forced to watch Zooms because my stores was closed, that civil unrest, they looted my Michigan Avenue store, everything was terrible. But I got involved in Zoom, and I learned about something that I never knew about being a business owner. They had grants out there. They had a grant called the NOF grant. They had the Chicago Recovery Grant. I saw a lot of these Black businesses that had taken advantage of these grants, and I didn't know anything about it. I mortgaged my house, I pulled my 401k, I begged, I borrowed, I stole, I did everything to open up big stores.
We're live.
But it was quite challenging, but once I discovered these grants, I just put it out in the universe, I'm getting the grant. I'm gonna get one of these grants. And a lot of people ask me, how did you get the grant? Who's your grant writer? That grant writer comes from within. If you know your vision, you know your focus, you know your purpose. So that's exactly what I did. And I did get a grant for the Fat Burger, and I am so thankful to God because I didn't know about this. Then I turned around and said, I want another grant. There's a beautiful, because my Hyde Park store, someone shot 28 cases of bullets into my front window. They had this beautiful space in the back. It was beautiful. Never being utilized. I always looked at that space. I know it doesn't belong to me because I don't own the dirt. I said, I would love to take this space and do something with it. So again, I poured my heart out. I applied for a grant. And coming this summer, Hyde Park is going to have what you call the chocolate garden. It's going to be a space for the community to come. We can have family reunions. Soccer moms can come, birthday parties, a live band. We're going to do everything. We're going to have chess tables. And I'm so happy to bring this back to the community. So during the pandemic, I learned the power of Zoom, networking, building relationships, and finding out all the resources, and always asking questions. How did you do that? How did you get that? Ask questions, learn, and that's what I learned during the pandemic, how to survive.
Wonderful advice. Lauren, I want to come over here to you. We talked about COVID a lot in the pivots, and in your bio, you have a history of IT, promotion, and digital creation, And that's a strong suit or a need for businesses. And so I specifically wrote down in my notes to ask you for some tips for all of us as business owners, some tricks and tips from a digital creation standpoint that make us stand out, stay relevant, and drum up business.
I would probably start by saying, make sure you're using the platforms that actually make sense for your business. A lot of people just have all of these different social media pages and you only use 2. So if those are the 2 that's generating the most, engagement or the follows or the, if you have something where they can buy right from your post, that is the platform. Those are the platforms that you need to work in. And also, I had a quick COVID thing, even with Chicago Black Restaurant Week. So with Chicago Black Restaurant Week, the ultimate goal is for everybody to get out and try something new. Go out and try something new. COVID said, no, you stay in. So I said, I don't want to not have Chicago Black Restaurant Week, so there's got to be a way to do it. Well, you got to order your groceries, you got to order your food, people ordering all kinds of stuff, Bath, Body Works, whatever you want to think about. And so I said, well, we can still do Chicago Black Restaurant Week, and I'm still going to do it. So that's when Uber Eats reached out, and they said, you know what, I see you are still going to go through and do this regardless of what's going on. I was like, well, people can order food. It's still safe. They can still go in, pick it up, whatever. But again, I kept putting that on social media, kept putting it out, on the platforms that I use mostly. And what happened was they saw me on Instagram, one of their employees. I never met this girl before in my life, but I started talking to her. She made the connection. And I think I had close to 100 businesses registered during the pandemic. And then on top of that, they were noticing triple and quadruple in sales because of the ordering apps that they were able to utilize. So they, again, service. I just want to be behind somewhere trying to help somebody be great. Folks got kids in college. People got, all kind of stuff going on. So I wanted them to be able to stay open regardless of, you got to eat, right? So you want some surf sub, you want some sole, whatever it is that you want, you can order it. So then that's how I've been able to partner with Uber Eats for the past couple of years. But it all started because of digital marketing. I made a decision. I'm not going to not do it. And then the other entity that we all know in Chicago, we love them too. They weren't going to do it, but they ended up doing it after I did it during the pandemic because I guess they recognized she can do it, we can do it too, because I wasn't going to stop. So,
definitely major recognition to Black-owned restaurants that we've never had before from large companies like Uber Eats, Grubhub. It was vital for us to partner with them, and they made us stand out. They offered marketing, promotions for Black-owned restaurants because of what had happened with George Floyd. It made the world pay attention to Black people. Yeah. It made the world pay attention to our struggles in every industry. So that was huge for restaurants to be noted on these third-party apps as Black-owned restaurants.
Absolutely, and that's why I had that question written down specifically for Lauren, and to segue into encouraging everyone in here to follow all of these ladies, follow the Black Women's Expo pages, because really that's that untapped resource. A lot of times when you share, it costs nothing to share a post. It costs nothing to follow somebody, to do a recommendation, to check in, to do the Yelps. All of those different things help all of our businesses, not just in the food and hospitality industry. I have a couple of more questions and then we're going to go to the audience, but they also wanted me to announce that our lovely ladies at registration have your parking validation tickets. Yeah. You got it. 2 words. As an entrepreneur, for me, I don't know if it happens for you, but I get nervous when I hear the words scale up. When you're in a good place and it's like, all right, I'm coasting right along, but then you're starting to grow and you always want to deliver. I need some advice from these ladies on the panel of when you hit that big, hey, this is a thing and I can't do this by myself anymore, but I want them to do it the way I do it. How did you effectively scale up?
Be careful with scaling.
Okay.
So I scaled way too fast. Understand, 3 states to 18 in 3 months. So what does that look like? We've sold over 3 million bottles of Love Corkscrew, but understand each state has its own bespoke way of doing business, whether it be the licensing, whether it be the stores, whether it be what they allow and don't allow. And I have to be there. If I'm not there or my staff is not there, we don't increase velocity. And that, what is velocity? Moving bottles off the shelf. So anyone with a product, let me backtrack a little bit. A lot of people I mentor always say, Krishan, how did you get into Walmart? How did you get into Target? Please help me. I say to them, well, what do your sales look like online or in your own 4 walls? If you're not telling me that you can't keep up with those sales because you're doing so great, you need to now move on to the large big box stores, you need to stay exactly where you are because it's not what you think. When you scale too fast and you get into these large big box stores, you're going to think, oh yeah, she must be rich. Do you understand it costs more money to be in those stores? Do you also understand that when it comes to paying invoices, listen to this, they will take a discount if they pay you on time. Do you hear what I just said?
Say that again.
They will take a discount off of what they owe you if they pay you on time.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have the money to cover any of your expenses prior to a Target or Walmart or Whole Foods or whoever it may be to pay your $50,000 invoice, you got a problem, don't you? So be careful with scaling. It's not what you think it is. And one more thing I want to leave with this analogy, and please listen to anything I say. It's like taking a magnifying glass, sticking it on a newspaper, and put it in one place. You have more chance of it catching fire. If you put it in several places, you'll never catch fire. So understand what I'm saying. Take your time. Stop following the shiny carrot and stop looking to see what everybody else is doing. Stop. Stop it. Stop looking at social media. Stop thinking that because someone else in your mind is successful, that's how you become successful. There are companies that are worth $100 million, but after you if you take away all the expenses, somewhere in the hole. Be careful with scaling.
Thank you for that. Somebody in here needs to hear that, right?
In terms of my expansion, after going out of business twice and being in this game for 15 years, I learned something that's key. It's about the partnership. Your landlord, if you don't own the dirt, that landlord, you're not going to work for the land. I'm no longer working for the landlord. The River North developer asked us to come to River North. The first thing I said was, no, I can't afford their rent. I'm no longer paying $15,000, $16,000 for a product. My product don't support that rent. And I told him no. So now when I go into these locations, I better make my rent in 1 or 2 days. Yes. And that's exactly what it is. It has to be a partnership. That landlord got to want me to win as much as he wants himself to win. Because if I win, his rent is going to get paid. And so that's the new way. It's about how you enter the deal. You just don't open up a business and you just accept what they give you. You have to negotiate, and you really have to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. And if it doesn't make sense, do not do it. And especially with that brick and mortar, they will take everything out of you. You would just be working for the company, which is the franchise, the landlord, and just nothing. You get nothing. So now we're going into a business. Make sure that that landlord care about you as a partner, not just as a tenant looking for a check every month. And that's how I enter into my new businesses now.
Am I moving on? You know I have much more.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. That's a good segue for finances, and I know they're going to give me the high sign. We're going to get a few from the audience as well, but the finances. How close are you to the finance scenario? We have some business owners who will say, well, I don't do the numbers thing, so I just give that to my accountant, or how close are you to that process? Are you cutting every check? Are you following every dime? Have you gotten too big to do that? How does that work, ladies?
I have an accountant.
Okay. Well, I sign every check.
You sign every check. Can you turn her mic up a little? She said, turn it up.
I sign every check. Now, in terms of like having a CPA and accountant and tell me where my margins are and what it is that I'm making, of course, that I have. But I sign every check. I know what every check, what everybody is going to, I know exactly where that's going. So for that, yes. I think it's very important as a small business owner that you make sure that you know where your finances are. You know exactly where you are landing at any point, just in case someone asks you to present some information to them. As we try to go into different conversations with in different rooms. As we try to go into different conversation with different rooms, then we want to make sure that we are able to have a P&L statement, that we are able to have a balance statement, that we are clear on what that is and exactly what that looks like. So that is something I feel like should be very, just as close as your product is to you, your finances need to be just that close.
Yeah. All right. Bridget, what do you say about finances?
I'm with Coco. I sign all my checks as well. I do let my accountant handle like taxes and profit and loss statements, but outside of that, I'm the only person that deal with my money. I'm still learning though. I've been in business for 6 years. Coco know I get her right on the phone. Coco, I need to go, yes, I need help. So when you start, like I started this business, I started my business on Instagram. I didn't go to culinary school. I didn't go to any business school, so I'm still learning. So every day when you're in business, you learn every day. But I know how to keep up with my money.
To know your business and know your money. So I do my own payroll, but for like profit and loss statements, balance sheets, I have an accountant that does those things. Let me be a little more specific. But I also know how to understand and how to read each of those.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on that because that's crucial. Yes, I know where my money is, but more importantly, I need to know my profit margin. I need to know exactly how to scale to turn my business into something bigger. And what will that take? So you have to know your forecasting. You have to sit with those accountants. You have to sit with that bookkeeper. You have to look to see, am I really making money? Are my margins good enough? Does this make sense? What is my EBITDA? You have to know what the valuation of your company is. Otherwise, you're just doing a hobby. So understand where you're going to take this. Are you going to turn this into a legacy? Are you just looking to sell? Have those thought processes and figure that out, because then it's going to help you move quicker. It's going to help you transition. It's going to help you leave it to your kids or not. You have to have some type of a plan. Otherwise, you're just this hamster in a wheel. Yeah. And you're just going and going. But where are you going? Yeah. Where are you going? And I just stress that as I get older. I'm almost 50 years old. And as I get older, I'm like, okay, I'm going to retire at this age, and I'm going to exit my company with exactly this amount of money. How do I do that? And then I work backwards to this next year and a half before I turn 50. What am I going to do? And how am I going to get to where I need to get to by 53? Because I'm sorry, I want to be in South Africa, Ocean and Blanc. Yes, I want to be sitting there on a rocking chair in the vineyard that I own. So how am I going to get there is crucial.
Now, Bridget, I know you maybe are a little pressed for time. She's catching flights, y'all. And I want all of my panelists to address this question. What do you want your legacy to be? Bridget, we'll start with you.
So my restaurant is all about community, to be honest. Like, I know a lot of people look at it like business, and it is, don't be wrong. But I tell everybody, money is never the motivation, it's the reward. The money's gonna come, I don't chase the money. That restaurant saved my life, so what I do is, with my employees, I hire young men off the street, I give them a second chance, I'm trying to save their life. Yeah. I wanted to be there forever. I want it to be a place you visit when you come to Chicago, a tourist spot. I'm not interested, I'm gonna be honest, in having franchises because it means something more to me. So, thank
you, Bridget. We jump around. Lauren, what do you want your legacy to be?
Maybe one of those things, if you have an idea and you really feel like it's important first to you, go ahead and do it. People will definitely take notice if they believe in what you have to share. But I really don't care, because if I believe in it and I feel like God planted the seed and I felt like it was a need, like people have fought for how long to just get accolades for things that we did 3 million years ago. I'm trying to over-exaggerate, but you're like, they didn't think about it. It took that long for them to get the recognition for what they did. So I just feel like, no, we can do it now. We can have the, Black restaurants be featured on WBBM and, some of the other stations that aren't, specifically catered to Black people, because everybody needs to know about them. Everybody needs to know that they can go and get Surf's Up real quick and hop over and get some ice cream when they're done from Black women or Black people, period. So I just feel like your legacy needs to be that thing that that thing that you can't shake. It's something that's just always sitting in your lap or smacking you in your face. You need to develop that. Take your time to develop it. Keep a journal. I keep a journal everywhere I go. Keep a journal, write stuff down. You will forget. Cell phones die, notes disappear. If you got that book in your hand with your ideas, you can take something with that. But develop it. If you got something in you, I'm telling you, now is the time to let it out.
Right.
All right, Ms. Roy, what's your legacy?
Well, for me, I would like my legacy to be that I was not a woman who stayed inside of a box, and that we can be many things in life. I was a young mom. I had my daughter at 18. I just finished my freshman year of college. That did not count me out. I finished with my master's at 24. I became a teacher. I did that for 23 years. I'm doing that now. And then I still opened a restaurant. So we can be many things. And so we don't have to allow society to put us in the box. So I want to be remembered as that woman who was not kept in that box. But I've done many things. And I've been good at all of them.
Yes, keep it going.
Okay, well, it's some good legacies to follow here. As I think about this question, and I want to be completely honest with it, I definitely want to make sure that with all that Two Fish is and all that Two Fish has been and is going to be, I want to make sure that is a part of my legacy, that is a part of the community's legacy, that we made sure that we created jobs, we developed community, that we are a stronghold inside of the Barnesville community. I too share the same sentiment with Bridget, is that no, I'm not interested in franchising, because we are a part of that community, but I am interested in being worldwide. Okay. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have brick and mortar, and we are worldwide. So so when we are worldwide, so I want to make sure that is a part of our legacy. And I also want to create a narrative for the legacy of the young ladies that work for me, that we can be soft and we do not have to be tough.
Jackie?
My legacy is to pay it forward to my staff. I have an amazing staff, some young kids, young adults that I'm working with. I have 7 stores and then the Fat Burger. So I'm looking to identify a strong team and someone that I can hand the torch over to help my only child, which is Janelle, she's here today, run the business. I never want to sell. So when I'm sitting in a rocking chair someplace on another island, I want to be able to look, but I always want to stay involved, but I'm really looking to develop my current staff. I believe from hiring from within. When I was 13, 14 years old, I worked for McDonald's and Burger King. My owners was very instrumental. They promoted me to a crew manager at a very young age, which this very day inspired me to become the woman that I am today. And I look at my team. I believe every person has a talent. We can have someone on a team that nobody likes, but it's something about that person that I like. I'm gonna find something in that person that I can bring out. And I know as you grow, the owner sometimes separates, and people say you shouldn't be so involved with your team. I gotta be involved, because if I don't love, I can't lead. So I have to love you.
And last but not least,
I would say
the biggest thing that stuck out to me one day is years ago, a young lady, I was walking down the street, she walked towards me, and she started crying. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're the wine lady." And I'm like, "Oh my God, why are you crying?" And she said, "Because you inspired me to do better. I've been watching you from the very beginning 10 years ago, and I see what you've done." And I remember that day I was in my feelings because I had lost a few accounts and upset. And I said, at that point, this isn't about me. So at that point, I realized, got it. I'm here to break every glass ceiling till there's no more to be broken. And that's it.
That's it. Can we give it up for this panel? I don't know, I haven't even given a sign. I'm giving a sign. Are we not going to the audience? We are going to the audience. Let me make an announcement again about the validation of tickets. If you have to leave out, you shouldn't leave. I hope you don't leave. But the ticket validation tickets or the discount. And then also, I got a message from the Chicago Urban League that I need to read for all businesses in the room. They want to let you know that they are launching their third Black Restaurant Accelerator program that's being funded by Pepsi. So go to shywell.org to learn more information. Also, the Vice President of Entrepreneurship is here today as one of the vendors, Kelly Evans. Talk to her if you're looking to get into that Black Restaurant Accelerator program. So before we go to, we have one question from someone very important. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, but most recently, another one of the feathers in Mary Green's cap is now she has a nonprofit arm to her business at MG Events. And in true Mary Green fashion, she wanted to give back, much like the ladies talk about giving back and being a part of their community. And so the first thing coming out of the gate she wanted to do was an award, a grant to a small Black women-owned business, and it's called the Power Her Small Black Business Grant. So I'm going to kick it over to Mary Green.
I wasn't actually going to do that at this time.
They did tell me that.
Oh, that's what you told you.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do it then. I know that we had someone that was leaving, but I also wanted to mention that part of the prize for that grant is business coaching.
Yes.
And she is sitting in the front row with me. Her name is Deborah Gray Young. And
hey, Deborah, stand up.
She will be coaching, business coaching with our award winner too. Okay, I'm going to do this now.
Okay.
Well, she will do Q&A.
Okay, so let's level set for where it came from. If somebody's like, what happened? What was the power? So we did a call out asking for individuals to apply online and submit a 90-second video explaining their business and why they deserve this $2,500 grant. And as a small business, that's nothing to sneeze at. $2,500 can go a long way.
And I think a show of hands, or can you stand up those who applied? We had about 30.
Yeah, all of our applicants, if you're here, wasn't it hard, Mary?
It was very hard. I mean, you text me crying one evening. And if Chantel can go over to that black covered pink bow thing. This is the person who we chose. She was incredible. Her 90-second video was incredible. And her name is Gabrielle Hardy.
Don't you dare cry, Gabby, don't do it.
And the name of her business is Bomb Chefs, and she must be the bomb. Come over here, young lady. Get over here.
With the bomb,
Gabrielle,
she had me crying too.
me a note and he will introduce himself. He's added $500. So just tell us a bit about, just a bit.
I'm sorry. My name is Gabrielle Hardy, and I have been in the culinary industry for my entire life. I like to say that, like all of the great singers that got started in church, I got started in the kitchen church, and I went to the Cordon Bleu and graduated in 2013. I was really afraid to express and show my talents, but because of the pandemic, I started to post my talents to social media, and I was able to really get a great following and some great feedback, and I'm so thankful for this. Thank you so much.
Everybody look up the Bomb Chef, the Bomb Chef. And we want to thank our sponsor of this, Farmers Insurance. Come on up, Mr. Abernathy, for also sowing a seed in our entrepreneurs. And to all of you who applied, you are all winners because you had the wherewithal to do the work. And the work doesn't stop today. It's only going to accelerate from here. As we've heard from these bosses here on the stage, there is work to be done, and there is inspiration. There are a lot of resources. The vendors that are here today have information for you. We have banks and financial institutions, grant information, and what I want to call is networking on steroids, because at the conclusion of this panel discussion, you'll actually get to do some chatting with these ladies. Now, don't hold the line and start all the way back in 1970. I believe it. No, we want to get a chance for them to talk to as many of you as possible. But we are going to go to the audience now. Yes, yes, boss lady. If there are, how many are we doing, Mary? 2, 3 questions? They did such a great job answering their questions. If you want to just step to the mic, if you have a question for our serial entrepreneurs, our bosses. Come on down, Miss Midge.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to say a lot of things, but I'm just going to say,
okay.
Every woman in this room that's anticipating is a business person, please have a mentor. Have a mentor. You can find them anywhere. I'm not going to point them out, but I am a mentor of 2 millionaires in this room today. They are millionaires. Yeah. Me, I got first on the Barbara Bates I made.
Oh, that's right.
So you know I got $1 or $2. Buy black, buy good.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for today. It's really a blessing and inspiration. My question is, what are like the appropriate margins for a restaurant to succeed? Like, I know I do a budget monthly for my housing, so 10% goes here, 20% goes there. How much is too much? Like, what's your food cost, your payroll, and things like that? So the numbers.
Okay. So actually, I was just doing this last night, but so the margin for Two Fish is about 24%, and that is our total cost in terms of like what it is that we have. So that is a very appropriate margin. That margin allows us to stay continuously in business. Usually, most restaurants operate between a 10 and 15% margin, and most businesses operate between a 10 and 15% margin. So if you can get above like 24%, then above 15%, then you're doing okay.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Thank you so much. And any mentors? The mentor question, I need all of them. So,
Hi, ladies. I want to thank you guys because you guys are so humble, and that's something that when you're moving through these spaces, rare to find because they're very humble. I want to ask 2 questions. I met a couple of you, especially Yasmin, at couple of spaces that we moved in. I want to ask about one of the things that you guys didn't talk about was the racial element. Some of the things that you encounter as Black women when you're moving in these spaces and you start to scale up, and how you wear your exoskeleton for that, you know, because it was needed. Secondary, I wanted to ask about distribution. I've heard that's where CPGs go to die, especially Black CPGs, and that's something that I am experiencing at this time in the distribution network right now, going direct. So those are the two questions, and again, I want to say God bless all of you. Thank you. You're an inspiration.
Thank you. Who wants to take the first one?
Definitely as a Black woman in an industry, I'm literally 0.00009%. There's only 60 African-American women that are either wineries, vineyard owners, or negociants out of 111,000 in the world. So with us, it's definitely not being taken seriously nonstop. I must not be the owner. I must not know anything about wine because I'm not a white man. You will always have to work 3 times as hard, and that's okay. And you have to let it go. There are times that I think we tend to want to prove ourselves so much that we end up saying a lot and then saying too much, when you just need to listen. So sometimes you have to stop barking, stop being so mad and defensive because we are sitting in this terrible position. But listen, take that information and grow from that, because just like we need mentors, we also need to listen to the people who have been successful within this space and take all of that, absorb it, and make it better, because us as Black women, we are going to make it 10 times better if we just listen. So yeah, and lastly, the distribution side, it is very complicated. There's no perfect answer to distribution. Always know that in distribution, that I'm a third party system. I can't move unless I distribute. I need distributors. Just know that they're the deliverers. They will not help you with any marketing. They will not help you succeed. You have to do it. They are your delivery truck, and that is it. If you start thinking otherwise, you are in trouble, and you will die in distribution. So just know they deliver. I swear you will be good if you just think that. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, I'm going national with my burgers, right? And then you have all these distributors in all these states. I'm gonna be rich. Yeah, next you know, the stuff is not on the shelf, it's not put there properly, it's not delivered on time. I see your wheels turning up. Yes, that's what's happening, right? You still have to have your staff call. You still have to go to those stores. You still have to cold call. You know how many calls I get where people say, Krishan, I'm at this store and there's nothing on the shelf. And then I have to get my staff to deliver it. Well, those 6 cases could have just made me a lot of money that they could care less about, because 75% of this aisle is Sutter Home and Barefoot. Because, I'm sorry, that's a $1 billion company. So that's what they care about, not me, not little old me. So just know you have to work harder. There's no right answer. Sorry. You just have to. And you'll be okay.
And I'd like to interject very fast. I am the only African-American franchisees in Kilwin's Chocolates. It's been existing since 1947. I am not allowed to say I'm a Black-owned business. I have been denied many times. The reason why I keep going, because they don't want me there. And so that's my motivation. I cannot advertise I'm Black-owned. They wouldn't even let me celebrate Juneteenth. They told me wait till this year. I've had a lot of struggles. They tried to get a non-minority to come into Navy Pier after I was the only African-American franchisee in the system. And they tried to put somebody else of another race, but I had to fight. And for whatever you want, if you want it, you just have to fight. I can't even announce on social media or on my website that I am African-American owned. So sometimes you gotta fight and you have to believe, and you gotta just keep going. But I am proud to say that that burger was founded by an African-American woman, Loving Nancy, in 1947. So I am so proud to say that. And I'm also proud to say Kilwin's was founded in 1947, and there's over 165 stores. and I am still the only African American franchisee.
Let me just say this has been so amazing. My name is Daniela Coffey. I am the second generation business owner of the oldest soul food restaurant in Chicago of 50 years. The Steak West number 2 Country Kitchen. In the Chatham community, my father started it in the Chatham community in 1983, but he's been in the restaurant business for 50 years. So he passed a couple of years ago, so now the second business generation. So we talked a little bit about legacy. The one thing that I learned from my dad was he did a lot of things himself, because back then, you know, it wasn't a lot of ways to get money, or it wasn't grants like that, and he never got caught up in the political field. And so I was always taught, don't eat from the king's table, because then you got to abide by the rules. But I'm learning in Chicago, and please, Ms. Green, if you give me permission just to be very transparent. Thank you. In Chicago, it's very political. And you can have a great product, and you can reach for mentors, and nobody has time if you're not politically correct or you're not politically involved. And so I just refuse to eat from the king's table. I stand on that. But at the end of the day, I know that we have something great. To be in business for 50 years in the restaurant business. And not only that, my father transferred it to the second generation, which the second generation, 80% of businesses go out of business for second generation. But we didn't go out of business, we scaled 4 times. And so how do you stay focused on what you know your purpose is? You know that you can't bow and still get the help that you need.
Well, man, that's deep. But that's okay, because I'm deep. I can be deep. I think it literally starts with faith, right? And you really believing in who you are and what you have. Your dream has to be bigger than your failure or bigger than that fear. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us motivated. It's that we actually have passion for what we do. Because passion is going to go much further than practice. Yeah. So along the way, you build, you're practicing with that passion. So I forgot the question. I've been a special ed teacher for 23 years, bear with me. But I think I was on to something. Focus, passion, faith.
I would just say that again, if you believe in whatever it is that you're doing, stick with it. I don't even know if I need to learn it in another language, I would, but I don't know any other way to put it. If it's yours, own it. Like if you have something that you're putting all in, like you're all getting up early in the let me see. I'm normally up between 10 minutes to 4 a.m. and 4 every single solitary morning because I'm thinking. It's quiet in Chicago. At about that hour, I can get, it's not like I have anybody in my house. I have a dog. She's chill. She doesn't bother me. But the point is, I get up every morning. I get my coffee together. I write in my Dear God journal every morning. And then I just sit there and I think about what am I getting ready to do to enhance this? What am I getting ready to do to enhance that? And even when I'm working with other brands, it's the same situation. I'm not going to I'm not going to spend time doing something if I don't believe it. I'm going to give you my all whenever I give it to you, which is why when people have tried to partner with Chicago Black Restaurant Week, I have told them no, because they wanted their agenda to be somehow presented in what I was trying to do. And I'm like, no, I'm not, y'all, we're not doing that. Like, I'm not even on that type of time, and I'm not going to let you take over something that God absolutely gave to me. And I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to just destroy it. And you also have to pay attention to these little slick contracts that people try to write when they want to collab with you, too. Absolutely. Because I had another larger entity try to get me by not putting an end date to a project that I was working on. But see, I'm an English major, and I read and I write, and law school was going to be my next step. So I'm glad I kind of have a little, let me take a look at this. Let me take a magnifying glass to this. Oh, you all left out XYZ. Oh, I asked you all to put this in here and you did not include that. Oh, you tweaked this language. See, they didn't think that I was going to be prepared in that fashion. But you ain't gonna play with me and my thing. So just, if you believe in it,
I just want to add on what Daniela said, because I understand where you're coming from with, you know, the political side of being here in Chicago. I'm not from Chicago, believe it or not. I've been here long enough to have probably started Chicago, but I remember about 5 years into the expo, one of the top politicians asked me out to lunch. He's passed on now, I won't name names. And he really took me out to lunch to ask me, who am I? Where did I come from? How did you get this expo idea? And he says, I said, why? He said, a lot of people ask about you. The expo is big, and it was big from the beginning, as many of you know. And he was like, but you're not in anybody's camp. And I said, yeah, you're right. And that's how I like it. Believe me, it probably, you know, there's a struggle in all of that. There's a struggle in all of that. But I believed in what we were doing. I did, of course, I never thought it would last this long. We'll be 28 years. It's already 456. So I know where you're coming from. How do you, unless you think there's a miracle somewhere, sometime in Chicago, somebody's going to try to approach you like that. And you probably think that you could have been much further ahead if you gave in to something, because it is so political.
Thank you, Mary. Before we end, when you all talked about the being passionate in the faith, I have both. Even with that property on the south side, the bank tried to take it. We were in foreclosure. And when I tell you that I sold my home, everything that we had in 401k, just to have a debt-free piece of property, because what I was not going to do was that this state, this city, or any bank have what my mother and my father planted and worked hard for. So I have that, the faith and the passion, I have that. But I thank you all, that was it. It's just going to be a little tougher when you're not politically correct. And we just got to be honest with people. When you don't know the who's who, and you're not sitting at them tables. Sometimes grants are hard to get. You know, it's real out here in these Chicago streets. It's real. So thank you for that.
Thank you. We are going to continue to support you.
Same as number 2 Country Kitchen.
Preach, Sister Preach. I'm Amy Hilliard, and I'm the founder of the Comfort Cake Company, where we, for many years, made pound cake so good it feels like a hug. And I am so proud of this panel and Mary for putting it on, because if you have been anywhere near the food industry, the struggles that you have talked about are real. The successes that you all talk about are real. Now, I wrote a book in 2021 called Pivot for Success. And now that pivot is not a bad word. It is a real word, because if you do not change, you know life is going to change, and if you don't change, it will leave you behind. The book's called Pivot for Success, Hone Your Vision, Shift Your Energy, and Make Your Moves. Okay, it's on Amazon, and I now teach that at the University of Chicago's Booth School of Business. Now I teach it because that's part of my legacy. We do not produce Comfort Cake anymore because I stopped manufacturing it, because my parents got ill, and one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur is the flexibility. I said, I'm going to be there for my parents, and so that's what I did. But one of the things that pivoting taught me is that you can pivot your business. Now, I still own all the intellectual property of my business, all the trademarks, all the recipes, and a patent pending sugar substitute. Now, my question is for you all, is the intellectual property of your business, do you all own it? Do you all protect it? Because one of the things that we do as Black people is we're great creators of things, we're great consumers of things, but we don't protect. Because licensing is a huge business. We don't use licensing enough. And I just want to ask and really appeal to you to protect the intellectual property of your business vigilantly, because that can be a whole nother revenue stream for you, particularly as you talk about taking your business global. And people can take it from you if you aren't protecting it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll touch on it really quick on mine. Yes, definitely registered. I have everything registered. I will say this to some entrepreneurs, that you also have to understand the difference between a trademark and a trade name.
Right.
Getting trade named is way more important. Your name is more important than whatever your little mark is. You can change your mark ever so slightly. So there's been situations in the past where people trademarked but not trade name, and another company took their name. After that, what do you have? So be very, very cognizant on getting a lawyer to do it. If you do it yourself, more than likely you will not do it right. Someone will come behind you, take your name behind you, and then you're spending more money to fight for that. So definitely get registered quick. To your point, what if you have to, that ugly word, pivot? Or you are done. You need to sell your business. What if your name was more important than anything that could turn into something bigger, different, better? I'm thinking love corkscrew. There's so many ways that name can go, and there's so much money I can make off that name when I'm 75 years old. So it is extremely important to take care of the business first. I have met so many business owners that had no idea what an EIN is. How in the world do you not know what an EIN is? And you don't own a business.
They don't.
So it's the basics that you have to have. How are you not either an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp? How? Then you just have a hobby. Protect yourself first. Yes, you have to spend the money. Stop worrying about spending money on the photo shoot first.
Come on.
Spend the money on your license and registration first. So that's my answer.
And it's not very expensive.
It's not.
Doing that trademark, the trade name, hiring an attorney, it's not expensive at all. So it's just definitely worth the time.
I can tell you guys like a real life example about that. So of course I own Two Fish. There, and my name is Two Fish. It's trademark and trade name. So there was a person in Chicago who was going to open up a restaurant, and they were going to play off of my name. And and they were going to play off of that. And because my name is trademarked, Two Fish, there wasn't no way he could do it. They backed it down. He called me. He came up with a completely different name because it was at that point, you know, it was I did have like the attorneys involved, stopping the
Cease and desist. Cease and desist. Stop. Can't do it. Stop. Nah, ain't happening.
Cease and desist letter was sent out to him, so that happened. But he definitely, he changed his name. Like he had no legal right to do it. Absolutely. And before we went into court, it made sure he stopped because our name, it's Two Fish. I own the name. You can't. Redfish, Bluefish is owned by Dr. Seuss. So you can play with them if you want to. But you
I'm actually in a good place because Surf's Up, we own the trademark and trade name. And the Disney movie Surf's Up only trademarked the movie and apparel for the movie. Well, they have a restaurant. So per our attorneys, we need to wait a few years, and we can either offer them a cease and desist, or they'll have to pay us to use our name. And I'll be doing the same thing for Eat My Biscuits, because I have that trademark and trade name as well. And there are 3 restaurants that I know of currently that are named Eat My Biscuits. So they'll be paying me as well.
It's done. We're going to move on. We have about 4 questions left. We're going to move along real quickly.
Hey everyone, my name is Raya, and I'm a 17-year-old private chef and caterer. I aspired to open my own restaurant one day, and I wanted to ask, what does the steps of opening a restaurant look like?
Oh, girl,
she said, how much time?
You write on our phone numbers. That's a link. It's a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, because I'm up here. Well, right now, first, you're 17. I want you to go work in one first. I just want to be honest and transparent about that. I know you all, the younger generation, you all move faster than us. You all make decisions faster than we make. You all, and you do. And you all come up with systems way faster than we have. And they be good systems. However, the breakdown comes in the process. And what I would encourage you to do is definitely work in a restaurant. Even if it's not what it is that you're cooking, you need to know how the restaurant works. And especially, and I would also encourage you to work in the type of restaurant that you envision your restaurant to service. Like if you want a white tablecloth restaurant, then go and work in a white tablecloth restaurant. If you want to have a quick service restaurant, go and work in a quick service. However, make sure you go work there first so that you can at least see this process of how it actually works, and then come back and ask me that question.
Good luck, young lady, 17.
My name is Denise. I own Essential Smoothies. I am the only vegan Black woman cafe probably in a 40-50 mile radius. I am in Kankakee County, Illinois. So I'm surrounded probably about 10 to 12 counties. But the issue is, I also work for the state, and I was kind of pushed. I'm almost pushed into a vision that I was trying to move really slow. So now it's moving so fast and I can't keep up. So I started out with sitting with just me, and all of a sudden I had to hire 3 or 4 people. So now I got 3 staff up under me, don't fully understand the business, wonder where I'm going, saying that this is too much, trying to be a mother, trying to work a full-time job. So at some point, I'm probably going to retire, which I can in September. But at the same time, I'm not fully understanding the business part of owning a business. I started out with a food truck first. The city gave me such a hard time with my food truck, so I sold the food truck, and I said, well, maybe it's meant for me to put up a business. So when I put up the business, I realized, wait, there's nothing healthy in my county, and that's why all these people are swarming to me. So now I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So every day I'm opening up, and I'm like, this is a lot, and I don't know. I don't know which way to go. I'm just really taking it one day at a time.
Well, that's a great problem to have.
Everybody is saying that, but I'm standing there, and I don't have the guidance. I don't have the direction.
What I would encourage you to do, and I know you probably believe that you don't have the time to do it, is to read this book. It's called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Yes. And that
Say it again. What's the name of the book?
E-Myth. The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And what that book allows you to do is identify who you are in the business in terms of your technical skills, what it is that you can bring to the business. And from there, you'll be able to jot down who and what it is that you need in order to hire. I too have like that same sentiment where it's just so many different things that is coming at you and so many different projects that you have. And now I have like an executive coach to say, okay, you just can't do it all. You just can't do it all, and this is what you're good at. And I know what I'm good at. I can develop a business like I can develop anything. Like, oh, okay, what I can do. That part I know I can do. I'm confident in that. However, you have to make sure that what it is that you are confident in, and then find the people that are underneath you in order to do it. Like I am too, having that same problem, but I know now, like, okay, it's like some stuff I just can't do. So I would encourage you to read that book.
Do you mind staying for a few more minutes? Okay, all right. I have one lady I'd like to bring up. Since we're talking about how you keep these businesses going, she's going to talk a little bit about the money out here that you can get.
Oh, we want to hear that.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Look at this black excellence up here. So my name is Cicella Smith, and I work for the Department of Commerce, State of Illinois, and some of you in this room I know. So what I want to say is that right now, as Jackie mentioned, that she learned about grants and all these other resources that may be available to small businesses or businesses in general. So currently, we have about $175 million that is available. We just released about 2 weeks ago, and the application deadline is going to close on May 10th. $50 million is allocated to restaurants. Now, under that umbrella, caterers, food trucks, even street vendors, right? And so someone who wore a fundraising hat for 25 years, to be on the giving side is a much better space to be in. But what I encourage you to do is access to information is critical. There are an abundance of resources, not just grants, right? Because historically, public government don't typically give grants to for-profit businesses. So this is a unique time in our state, and there's more resources coming down the pipe, even for startups. So what I encourage you to do, and I'll make my information available. I didn't bring the state checkbook, and I'm not taking government complaints today. But these resources to Love Corkscrew's founder point, who I have on my bar, is that make sure we have to make sure that our businesses are ready to apply for this money, right? You got to make sure you're in good standing with the state. This is the first time with this pool of money that the state is saying, and this is in print, so I'm not going to get in trouble, that if you are an eligible business, you will receive a grant award. That has never happened. And so let me be clear. This is a finite time. In the next 2 years, these types of resources, grant resources in particular, are not going to be available. And so I encourage you to go on the State of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity website, Back to Business program, and as I mentioned, there are going to be more resources coming down the pipe, from entrepreneurs, startups, to moving into vacant commercial real estate. And so this is our time. However, you have to come and get it. Like, we're not gonna, you have to do the work. It's important to do the work. So feel free to ask me questions. I have cards, and I do respond to my calls. All right.
Thank you.
I think she could stand a few more minutes longer. Come on up. I'm sorry. But I do want to bring up one other person real quick. Farmers Insurance became a sponsor of this event and helped us to give the grant. And I want to bring up
Thank you, farmers.
Because why is everybody kissing?
I know.
And I do insurance, so we fall. So first of all, I want to talk to you because I'm sorry that somebody's redlining you with your insurance. We will take care of that. But one of the things that I love about farmers, because I was recruited by all of the different agents, State Farm, all of them. Farmers has allowed us to help African Americans. And if you see any other insurance agencies in here, stand up. Exactly. So I was able to go to farmers and say, hey, there are going to be 200 black women that are doing food and beverage. And farmers said, what? We can be in that? Yes. So understand, one, farmers loves restaurants, which is why I'm here, because I make money that way. But two, the black community, we sponsor and we will help take care of you. And this will be my 4th business that I've owned. And I'll tell you, if you've ever bought a house, the next thing that you buy off the house is what? Insurance. If you ever buy a car, the next thing you buy is insurance. If you work hard to start a business and don't insure it, you are killing yourself. Because all it takes is for one lawsuit, for one person to get sick, for one person to fall in your restaurant, for one person to say anything stupid, and you can lose everything you work for. So come to my table. Let's make sure that you're protecting yourself, and we will be here for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. And you can talk as long as you can.
So it's interesting that literally every question that I had. Thank you for understanding. I had the question about insurance. Thank you so much for answering that. Finances. So my name is Jacinta. I am the proud owner of the Vegan Treat Lady. My daughter and I started in 2020. We ship throughout the country. We do vegan pound cake, peach cobbler, apple pie.
It's good.
You name it. It's all Southern. And
My downfall has been,
it's okay.
It is just me and my baby girl. And being in this room with you beautiful Black women has encouraged me because I was very discouraged by some other Black women. When I first started my business, I didn't want to, no offense to anybody in here, just want to put that out there because I have customers. I didn't want to go to the white people. I wanted to go to my people because my people understand me. And I went to some of my people and they tried to get me. So my question is, we're all in this room, but I need the resources. You said find a mentor. Who in here is a mentor? How do we not leave here without the mentors? How do we not leave here today without knowing, okay, I have my trademark, I am trade name, I am an LLC, I am an S Corp, I have filed 3 years in taxes, but now what's next? I need to know who that person is that's going to say, you know what, Jacinta, call me because it was given to me free. I want to give it to you free because Jacinta wants to give it free. I just need those resources. Even if I have to pay for it, I need to know what's next because I don't want to see my business fail. Not because it can't fail, but because I didn't do it right the first time. So that's what I'm asking for.
Jackie, you got something to say? I think you can ask. I think all of us are willing to share our information, name, phone.
Please. Thank you. And this has been amazing. Thank you, Grace. And thank you, everybody who came out today.
And thank you for waiting.
So patient. Thank you.
I'm just taking over. Is this my event or what?
You told me you were going to be on Instagram.
No, but when I hear the things that people are looking for in the resources, and I know who's in this room, there's another lady I'm going to bring up who's in the room that has such an incredible platform and programs and classes, and she's going to hit me. But Cheryl Grace, please come to the mic. Come on. Come on.
The Cheryl Grace.
The Cheryl Grace.
Who has graced us with her praise.
She was a huge corporate executive at Nielsen. She's got her own business. And I was really surprised when I saw that she was coming. So.
I wasn't expecting this. I'm not sure what you want me to say. So what I've heard here, hi Midge. What I've heard here has been that there are a lot of women who are in need. That you're in need of support, you're in need of love, you're in need of fellowship. And that's why I love what you're doing here, and that's why I wanted to show up. My husband actually told me about your event because he gets your email. So marketing works. It may not always work for the person that you're sending it to, but someone may send it to you after they receive it. So marketing works. And I know Mary talks to me all the time about my marketing. And I will tell you all, there are times when I am sitting in my room at 4 in the morning thinking, nobody reads this stuff. Why do I keep sending it out? And then I get a call from Mary. Can I just pick your brain for a minute? Because I just got your email. Or Toy Salter says, Cheryl, were you trying to talk to me at 3 o'clock in the morning when I got up to go to the bathroom? And I saw your email that said, why are you still up? Are you looking for something? Maybe I can help. So I do executive coaching, and I help women try to get to their next level of best in 3 areas: at work, in love, and at home. Did you hear the in love part? Yeah. Because that's important too. Because when you're not happy in love, you're not always going to be happy in business, and something's going on at home. So we want to make sure that you are in sync with yourselves on all 3 levels: at work, in love, and at home. So you can find me at I am Cheryl Grace on Instagram, please, because my numbers are dismal. On Instagram, that's not my platform. One of you all said find your platform. But LinkedIn, honey, I'm there, right? So Mary and I are going to put on a at work, in love, and at home seminar so that we get all of you together and you can align with all 3 elements of yourselves and you can be special because you are special. I don't know if I helped Mary, but I'm trying. And I love all of you all up here.
So Mary went through one of your executive coaching sessions and she was sharing with me the things that she would learn, but she was sharing
her homework. So I had to like do your homework.
Oh, you had to do the homework
so
too?
now these blogs you're seeing and stuff from Mary because we had to do your homework. Yes. I was like, she said you have to be on social media, Mary, so let's do it. So y'all follow Mary Green on Facebook.
Follow her. And we can do another marketing session too. We started to do that 2 years ago. We'll do another one. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
How y'all doing? My name is Tiffany Wallace. I own Dirty Tips Cafe. We do jerky soul food. We've been in business for 2 years. And, so we're new to the community. We opened up in the middle of the pandemic, so that's what you call faith walk.
Yes.
We do a lot for the community, even the kids. I love the kids. So I make sure I do back to school book bag drives. I sponsor kids for Christmas. I do it for Easter. But I'm doing this with all the money from the restaurant. And a lot of these banks don't give us capital. So now I have different people calling me about capital. Is that a good thing to go into, or do you run away from those people that's trying to get you capital?
Don't run away from that. Just be very cautious. And I say that because a lot of us are scared of venture capitalists. We're scared of equity partners. We're scared of angel investors. Don't be scared. Just know your business. If you know your business and know your numbers and utilize these, it's putting everything together. Utilizing the mentors that you're with, utilizing your network to understand what makes sense, you're going to know. My story has been that I don't like the banks per se. I used to own a business prior to Love Corkscrew, and the SBA loan was not good for me. But angel investors and VC firms are, because I don't want to be a thousandaire, I want to be a millionaire. So that there's a piece of that comes with it. However, and I won't go too in depth, there's also this, people are scared to not be black owned anymore. That's the big elephant in the room. But the numbers are pretty clear. You need to remain 51% to be a black owned business. So 51% of $100 million because you got a venture capitalist or an equity or an angel investor versus 100% of $10,000. Which one do I want? So I'm just saying that may not be what's for everyone, but don't be scared to talk to those, because some of those interest rates are way lower than a bank. Some of those people want to have equity as opposed to you pay them back. That may work for you. So don't be scared of that. I don't know how many people have taken here the Goldman Sachs 10 small businesses.
You got one over here.
Oh, no, I know Cheryl's here. They teach you about this so that it's not necessarily a bad thing. We as the minorities, as BIPOC people, have to stop being scared to go in an area because we don't know. It's not just a whole bunch of white people trying to own your business. Like, stop thinking like that. There's plenty of black professionals who are in the venture capitalist game who have plenty of money to give.
And Miss Two Fish, I want to say thank you. You may not remember me, but I sat in your restaurant and you talked to me for about 30 minutes. And you told me, I pulled my phone, my cake down, and I opened up my restaurant. But I want to tell you, I did the same thing, and I thank you so much for the conversation.
Hey, Sharice, are you here to cut us off?
I'm actually here to make an announcement before you close us out.
Okay.
So, all of you have experienced a Mary Green production, and you know that not only do we have wonderful guests, wonderful speakers, but there's an educational and a helpful component. So what we have curated today is we have Allies for Community Business in the house. They're a non-for-profit that teaches small businesses, they work with you. We have the 10,000 Small Business Program that Krishan just spoke about. They have a table in the back. We have BMO for Black, Women, Latinx, and Native businesses here for your business needs. CIBC Bank is also here with the table. Mr. Abernathy and Farmers Insurance is here. So what we did was we put together an experience for you all so that you can get the tools to help you grow, scale, and be successful in business, and so that everybody can be millionaires. And so we want you to take advantage of those experiences in the back. We have some small businesses represented as well. Essie Marie's, Popcorn World, and I'm missing one.
Virgin A. Celebrate Cafe.
All right, and so talk to some other small business owners as well. But what we want you to do is to have an opportunity to network, to learn. The Chicago Urban League is also here. Their entrepreneurship program is represented. So please take advantage of the resources. More than hearing the stories, we want you all to be the future panelists. And so we want to prepare you for that. So I'm out.
Thank you, Cherise. I was just want to remind you as we wrap this panel up, first of all, thank you, ladies. What awesome you are. I'm just so humbled to be able to have this conversation with all of you, and that you can meet these ladies and chat right across from the registration table. They'll be standing by their posters. You see their beautiful posters they designed for you with your photos to ask questions, take a few pictures, and exchange business cards. And I'm going to close on this. As I was driving in from Indiana this morning to come, and we were on the Dan Ryan, and you know how you have signage that tells you to move and merge and things like that. And this one came up on the electronic sign that said, "Don't be rude, allow others to merge in." What a word. Ladies, let us support one another. Don't be rude. We can all come to the table and eat. Let that sister merge in. Get that knowledge from each other. Let's network. And again, mark your calendars. August 4th through the 6th is the 28th annual Black Women's Expo. A new feature to this is that you, yourself, can go online and select your booth when you pay for your booth. If you want a corner booth, you want an aisle booth, you don't have to call and say, "No, I want to speak to Mary Green." She always puts me right here. You can do it, be empowered, follow the social media channels, because we'll be doing more as we kind of dipped our toe to see if this would work. Did it work? Oh, yeah. Mary, it worked. Bagels and Boston is officially a thing. Check in. Thank you, everybody. And God bless.
Do you use Switcher? Do you use Switcher?